Hello everyone, welcome to my game week preview for ChampmanFPL. Hope everyone's had a good weekend. A few people have been to the pub, I expect, me included in that. I've had some sunshine, some cider, been out for a run, all that good stuff, but committed to this. Let's get it done, let's get it out on a Sunday morning, same as always. So maybe a little bit different this week because we've already had the preview stream, we've already had the leak. So normally I don't know about this stuff, so I'll tell you what I know along the way if you don't already know it. But just a caveat at the start, I did watch the preview with Luke on Friday, but the press conference leak, it's very much second-hand information. So I'll tell you what I think I know, but very much same message as always. Look at the official account. Watch the press conference back from Luke. I'm sure it'll be great fun. Even though I think I know a good 80-90% of it, I'm still going to watch it back because I just think it will be good. Good viewing on a Sunday. So I really recommend you do that. But I'll talk you through what I think it means. But don't take it as gospel. Make sure you get the information from the official source. As always, the message is I'll present you my sims. I'll tell you what I think. And then, use all the information out there before you make any decisions. Okay, so current standings then. So leader the same. FPL FOMO up there. Yeah, a few ups, few downs. Top three is the same. To be honest, what I'm interested in this week, some lovely stuff on the game week leaderboard that I absolutely love. David Strom, nicest man in the world. Top of the game week. Absolutely love it. Well done, David. I'm absolutely buzzing to see you top of the leaderboard this week. Look at that. Captain Henry, Alex Anderson, Dublin. Fantastic. Fantastic. Well done, David. Love to see you top of the leaderboard this week. We've got Pep Talk up here. Love Pep Talk. Interacts with me a lot. Lot of time for the guy. Love seeing him ninth for the game week. Keep going, Pep. You can make up a lot of ground between now and the end of the season. And we've also got FPL Mode, our presenter. 19th for the game week. Love it. 83 points. Captain's Dion Dublin. I wish I'd had the same stones as you. Fantastic, well done, Mode. Well deserved and long overdue big game week from FPL Mode. All right, on to the week ahead then. And first up, we've got Arsenal v Newcastle. So Arsenal are going to attack this game at home. I think we all know that. Newcastle will play defensive, I think. But, they're going to play defensive, but they've got that long ball tactic, so they're still going to get the ball and punt it towards Shearer and Court as quick as they can. They're not men behind the ball, so Shearer and Court aren't going to be, sat in their own penalty area trying to defend. They will be up the pitch a little bit, and Newcastle, when they get the ball, they're just going to punt it towards them. But Arsenal look really good for the win, really high ceiling. So last week I think a lot of people were expecting a really big average goals, a really big ceiling against Everton, and it didn't really happen just because, the way Everton set up away from home against the big teams, they put a lot of men behind the ball, a lot of people with backwards arrows, all that kind of thing. And in the end we got 2-0, which was just about right. But I think this week the ceiling is a bit higher. So Arsenal have hit 6 here, 5 here, a couple of 3s, another couple of 3s here, a lot of 2s, only a few 1s and a few 0s. So much more promising for Arsenal this week. I really like them to hit 3 or 4 kind of more than I did last week. But Newcastle themselves, not too many blanks. They're hitting the odd goal. As I said before, they're punting the ball up towards Court and Shearer as quickly as they can, and they are good players. So they are scoring the odd goal. And it seems like from the league, again, please do get your full information from the official account, but it seems like from the leak that there's maybe a bit of rotation going on for Arsenal this week. I think I'm just going to leave it at that and just say go and get your information. But yeah, there could be some changes for Arsenal this week. I don't think it's nailed that like Perez starts. It seems like Henry is going to play, but it feels like there's a bit of rotation, so maybe some of the Arsenal defence don't play. Go and look at it for yourself, which I need to do as well. I've picked up bits and pieces, that's all. And in terms of player returns, so Henry good. So it does sound like he is going to start, but he is 90% carrying a bit of a knock. Maybe it's a risk. I think if you hold him, then you just keep him, and I'd even say he's a good captaincy option. If you're thinking of transferring him in, it's a bit more risky, but it could still work. From the league, it doesn't seem like Kanu's going to play. It seems like Bergkamp might be further ahead. So you can imagine in my sims that Kanu and Bergkamp have kind of shared these returns, because sometimes it's Kanu playing with Henry and sometimes it's Bergkamp. So if it is Bergkamp playing, I actually like him this week. And it seems like that's what might happen. So bit of a punt. I think Bergkamp could be in there. For Newcastle, yeah, Shearer, Robert, Hughes. It's not awful. Only 4 clean sheets for Arsenal. But for me, this is a strong home game. And I think even if Arsenal do rotate, I would argue that it's more about the approach than the players that makes the most difference. So it doesn't matter who Arsenal have got in their team, they will attack, and Newcastle will defend no matter what. Newcastle aren't going to look at Arsenal's lineup and think, oh, they've rotated a bit, so therefore we'll go for it. That just doesn't happen. Newcastle will definitely play defensive no matter what Arsenal's team is, and Arsenal will attack no matter what Arsenal's team is. Okay, so that's Newcastle, Arsenal. Blackburn, Chelsea. So normal versus normal. In terms of the formations, I'm not too sure. So Blackburn, I'm pretty sure Chelsea will play 4-4-2. They always play 4-4-2. But Blackburn plays some different formations, as we've seen through the season. And we'll see why I'm stressing that point when we come to the player returns. But in terms of the sims, there's really nothing to split them. Say it's normal versus normal. 2 pretty good teams with pretty good players. Toss of a coin. If you've already got players from these teams in your team, then you can start them and just hope it works. Just hope for the best. Really, I don't hate either team this week. You could get returns either way. But in terms of player returns, this is why I mentioned the Blackburn formation. So Carboni has come out massively on top here. But sometimes Blackburn at home, they play the 3-5-2 formation with the AMC and only one player out wide. So I think this is why Carboni's come out on top. So when Blackburn play that formation where they've only got 3 at the back, and then they got the 2 wingers and the AMC, then Carboni's kind of filling his boots a little bit. Because there's the overload with Chelsea's 4-4-2 against Blackburn's 1 winger. That helps him a bit. And then also he's on set pieces, so he's getting a few extra returns there. So it could be a good week for Chelsea's wingers, but you can't really put your money on what formation Blackburn are going to play. If they play with the 3-5-2 formation, then it could be a really good week for Carboni and Zenden, but you can't rely on it. So yeah, take the player stats with a pinch of salt here, because Blackburn did play that formation in most of my sims, and that's why Carboni's come out on top. But there were a few where they didn't play that, and then it would make it more difficult for them. So it really is a 50-50 game where I wouldn't write any players off if you've already hold them, but at the same time I wouldn't be transferring anybody in for this game. It's just one of those where you cross your fingers if you've already got them. It could work out. And in terms of the league, it sounds like Ronald de Boer will be on the bench. And some kids expected to feature is what I picked up from it as well. Or I say I picked up from it. I'm absolutely 100% reading from Goodman's list in the Discord. So it sounds like Ronald de Boer won't play or won't start, and there could be a bit of rotation somewhere. Derby Middlesbrough. So Derby will attack at home. Borough will play normal in this game, so not terrible, reasonably open game. Home team more aggressive tactic, away team have got the better players. That always makes it quite interesting. But Borough are coming out on top. So yeah, another pretty close one. So Borough edging it. The 4-4-2, they've got that overload in the wings. Pretty similar to Newcastle last week, isn't it? Borough are almost just, Newcastle again. You could say that it's the same game again for Derby. Borough haven't got Alan Shearer up front, but in terms of their wingers, they're about the same quality. And Boxic and Rickard up front potentially is pretty good, even if it's Whelan. Whelan's not a terrible player. So it's a very similar game to Derby Newcastle, really. And we saw what happened with that. Player returns, a winger against Derby is out on top. Surprise, surprise. That shouldn't be any shock to anyone at this point in the season. Johnson and Zapata, great picks this week, wingers against Derby. Boxic, Rickard. I think this is one of the ones that I say I'm very much got half of the information. Go and check it out for yourself. I'm not sure if Boxic will start this week. We saw that he went down to 0% condition in the last game, and then he didn't play in the FA Cup. And then he's low condition, so maybe Noel Whelan plays this week. The only information that I'm a bit more sure about from the leak that I've seen is it sounds like Derby's new goalkeeper starts. So Derby have signed a new goalkeeper, and from the press conference that Luke did, it sounds like he starts. So if you've got Mark Poom in your squad, doesn't seem like he's going to play this week. Everton Charlton. Everton will attack at home. Charlton will play normal away. So again, another fairly open game. Neither team playing defensive. That's what I love to see. And Everton coming out on top. Better team, at home, attacking, etc. You might hope for a few more greens here, but there are a lot of twos. If I ran the 20 again, it could easily be that a few of these twos turn into threes or fours. Really like Everton this week. We've seen it in the actual sim that targeting Charlton when they're away from home very rarely fails. We saw it last week. Dion Dublin got a hat-trick. Everton also pretty good for a clean sheet. What have they got? What have they got from the league in this one? Sounds like Everton might play two up front. So Karatos and Campbell to start, I think. Sounds pretty good. Top returns, so pretty low numbers. Again, this is one of those where I'd almost write this off. It's a really good game for Everton. Any of their forward players could go off. Don't worry about this too much. If Karatos and Campbell are starting up front, either one of them could do really well, or maybe even both of them. Gravison I really like, Di Matteo I really like in a home game against Charlton. Oh yeah. Do you know the drill? It's a home game against Charlton. Leeds Ipswich. Leeds will play attacking. Ipswich will defend a little bit. And not big numbers for Leeds, but a lot of twos. Again, if I ran it again, maybe a few of those twos turn into threes and it looks a bit more appealing. Leeds at home to Ipswich, they should win. And you know, if they win 2-0 and you've got Viduka and he scores both, or you know, that's good. That's still good, isn't it? So from the league, it sounds like Smith, Simon Johnson and Ian Hart start. So Ian Hart's not a surprise. We know that Harpal Singh is injured. So Ian Hart will play this game. Simon Johnson will play. And Alan Smith will play. So Alan Smith will play is the interesting one. So there's two things I think can happen here. He's either going to play up front with Viduka and Larsson doesn't play, or Larsson will play AMC and Kuehl won't play and it will be Viduka and Smith up front. I think those are the two things that could happen. So we've got that information from the league, but I don't think it's absolutely nailed what will happen there. So if you remember my video a few weeks ago, I showed you the few different scenarios that can happen with Larsson. So I showed you then that Larsson can play AMC. So Smith playing doesn't necessarily mean that Larsson's dropped. It could be that Larsson is AMC and it's Viduka and Smith up front. But there is that chance that Larsson doesn't play. It will be Smith and Viduka up front and Kuehl AMC. Still a bit up in the air, that one. Player returns, low numbers. Take what you want from it. Take what you want from it. Well, I've just said that Kuehl might not play. Larsson might not play. Singh definitely isn't playing. Stewart's injured, I think. So yeah, a bit of a write-off, that one. But I do always say this is much more important. Much more important. Leicester Bolton. Leicester attack at home. Bolton will play normal. Again, open game. Love it. Again, both teams comfortably over a goal a game, but not the two best teams in the world. So they've both got a ceiling. Of course, it's Champman. These things can happen. But yeah, Gardner, Holders. I wouldn't be counting on the clean sheet, but he could get at Leicester, I guess. Probably the main take from it. Yussi Holders, yeah, not really loving it. Not really loving it unless he gets bonus and save points. Very much two pretty average teams going head to head, and yeah, who knows what can happen. Player returns, Pedersen did pretty well. Wise on set pieces, not surprised to see him there. Is it set pieces as well? Gardner, yeah. Nothing too surprising. Nothing really stand out from this one. Again, it's one of those where if you're already holding someone from this game, probably play them. They could go off. You never know. Wouldn't rule it out. Man City Spurs. Man City will attack this game. Spurs now play normal away from home. So they would have been attacking under Hoddle, but now it's McLeish, they'll play normal. And it doesn't look great for Spurs. But from the league, it sounds like there's some rotation for Manchester City. So what I've gathered from the league is Man City's third choice keeper will start. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know who that is, but it's not going to be Nash and it's not going to be Weaver. Man City's third choice keeper will start, and we can expect changes in the midfield and at centre back. So yeah, interesting. So obviously these sims don't account for that because I've already run them before I knew that news. I would argue that the approach is more important. So Man City, even though they've rotated, they'll still attack. Spurs, even though Man City have rotated, they will still play normal. Again, they won't look at it and say, oh, Man City have got a weakened team, so therefore we'll go for it. That doesn't happen. They will still play normal away from home. So unless Man City's players that come in are much, much, much worse than their first team players, it won't make too much difference to this. So whether they are much worse, I don't know the answer, to be honest. I don't look into the detail that much. There's other guys that look into the detail that deeply that will be able to tell you if you're on the Discord or whatever. So this is very much the result from the two first teams. I would be surprised if it deviates much from this, to be honest. Unless somebody tells me that Man City's reserve centre-backs are like two 16-year-olds that are just fucking useless. I don't think it will be too far from this. Player returns, Huckabee One-Shot did well. Rebrov, Tiato. There you go. We're getting there. Millwall, Watford. Millwall attacking at home. So this one's interesting for me because I think we've had some news that Cherno Samba starts this game. There's a good home game for Millwall. Cherno Samba will start. So I'm very tempted to bring in Cherno Samba this week. I've got a wild card in hand. I've got 2 free transfers in the bank. I'm thinking I just roll the dice this week and then wild card next week. So part of that roll the dice could well be Cherno Samba in for this game. Some Jimmy Eat World in the background, love it. So yeah, Millwall looking really good. Average goals 1.8, but this is one of those where I don't care at all about the average. I'm looking at the amount of 4s and 3s they've got here. Looks really tasty. If you get a nil, it's just unlucky. It's just unlucky, and it brings the average down, which is why I'm just not interested in the average. I'm just looking at these first 10, 11 rows. I would just go for that. And if you get one of these, it's just unlucky. It's one of those things. 3+ goals 7 times out of 20. Watford capable themselves, only blanked twice. Really fun game, this one. It'd be good to have, if you've got 2 or 3 players from this game, you could be in for a good night. Top returns, Savarese comes out on top, but I mean, if Samba's starting, probably Savarese isn't. Or Harris isn't. I don't know, but I just think it's a good game. Cherno Samba starting, that's a really big opportunity to get on a differential this week, I think. I can't promise you it will turn out, but I'm just telling you the opportunity is there. Helgeson, Kane, yeah, all right. Sunderland, Liverpool. Sunderland attacking, Liverpool attacking. But Liverpool are good at the back, aren't they? So what do I know about the leak from this one? Henshaw's isn't fit. Biscan will play at centre-back. More than capable replacement. I'm not convinced that makes really any difference. Partridge and Patrick Berger start. So, I mean, we've seen that before. So I suppose the news is that Henshaw's doesn't play. Biscan does play at centre-back. So, yeah, I don't think that news makes any difference to this, really. Biscan's still a good player. Liverpool shading it. 4-4-2 versus 4-4-2. Attack versus attack. Liverpool have got the better players. They're edging it. Player returns. Oh yeah, almost forget it really. Murphy, Phillips. Phillips was pretty consistent. So yeah, if you're one of those unfortunate people that went Phillips instead of Shearer 2 weeks ago, when they were like 50-50 for the next 2 weeks, I'd say Phillips has got the better game this week really than Shearer probably. Sunderland can still score. If they're going to score, good chance it's Phillips. We know that Berger starts. He did pretty well in my Sims, even though he wouldn't have started every time. Villa Man United. Villa will play normal at home because Man United are high rep, and United will attack. And United out on top, so another one where it's 4-4-2 versus 4-4-2. United have got the more aggressive tactic. They've got the better players. So yeah, there's no overloads anywhere. United have got the better players. They're more aggressive. They're probably going to win. Good handful of 3+. Not awful for Villa, but not great. And player returns. So I thought this is quite interesting. This is one of those. I know I've been quite sort of nonchalant and flippant about some of the player returns this week in particular, but when I see things like this, I think, well, there must be something in it. I only really dismiss the player returns when it's all very close and it's all just giving us a picture of the whether it's one-sided or not. But for this, I feel like it's probably not a week to captain Ruud van Nistelrooy. These are big swings. Veron's got 16 and Van Nistelrooy's not even on the list. So as I said, it's 4-4-2 versus 4-4-2. Villa have got good centre-backs. I think I'm not saying Ruud is definitely going to fail because he's Ruud van Nistelrooy and it's Man United. Of course he could do well. But at the same time, if you don't want to captain Ruud van Nistelrooy every week, if you go against him this week and it doesn't work, it's just bad luck. So for me, I won't be captaining Ruud van Nistelrooy this week. I probably won't captain Veron either. But it's one of those weeks where I think you can try something. If it doesn't work out, it's just unlucky. So, attack, look ahead. Arsenal have got a cracking run ahead of them. If Henry gets through this week, I think he'll be in my wildcard team next week. Probably with Bobby Perez as well. Ipswich, I think, have got a pretty good run. So not this week, but after this week for a bit of future planning. They've got they've actually got 4 home games in a row, but it's just off the ticker. Ipswich have got 4 home games in a row after this week. So I think after this week, Doherty, Redknapp on penalties, Tariko is starting to really pick up from his attacking fullback position. I like Ipswich. If you've still got a wild card in hand, going double Ipswich for their 4 in a row home games is probably not a terrible idea if you looking to make up some ground. Liverpool have got a really good run ahead of them, even though they're not too explosive, but their defensive assets are fairly reliable. Fowler and Owen seem to be their kind of talisman at the moment. Good run ahead of them. Man City have got a pretty good run ahead of them. So Spurs at home, I say, looks pretty good. It sounds like they're going to rotate this week, but who knows what that will look like. Bolton home, Newcastle home coming up. And Man United a good run as well. Defensive look ahead, I think it's pretty much the same team. So Arsenal's the same, front and back. Bolton, I think I like their defence a little bit more than their attack coming up. Chelsea have got a good run coming up, so they play Blackburn away, so Blackburn tend to keep it tight. Leeds home, Leeds will go away and play defensive. Then they've got Sunderland at home and Spurs away, pretty good for Chelsea. Yeah, Leeds, Liverpool, yeah, Man United. Top returners for the week. Veron came out on top. It seemed to be the talisman against Aston Villa. Savarese, but yeah, as I said, maybe Cherno Samba, Neil Harris. The fact that Cherno Samba's starting, I couldn't tell you whether Savarese is going to play or not. It could be Savarese and Samba or Harris and Samba, but it's a good game for Millwall, basically. Carbone, so there's a chance that Blackburn play with only one player out wide, so Carbone could fill his boots there. Henry, good strong home game. I think we know he starts. Good strong home game at home to Newcastle, and Darren Huckabee at home to Spurs. Like, one shot wouldn't have been far behind him. So that's it, guys. Good luck with the game week. I'm really looking forward to it. I think I'm gonna roll the dice a bit this week. Where's my team? For anybody that's interested, you can just turn off if you want. My team, where is it? I'm here somewhere. I'm up in this region somewhere. Or no, overall I want, not second half. There I am, 31st. So I got 79 this week. So yeah, I've got a wild card in hand. So I held my wild card in case we got a load of blanks from the FA Cup games. So we got absolutely 0 blanks. So yeah, with the news we've got, I think I might just roll the dice this week. I might just go Dublin and Shearer out and maybe go like Samba and Caritas for their good home games. Jody Morris can come in for Ronald de Boer. The defence isn't terrible. Might just roll the dice and do that and then wildcard the week after. I think that's what I'm thinking. Captain Cherno Samba, fuck it, why not? We're getting to that stage of the season. If I want to try and win it, I'm in 31st place. I need to try and do something. Maybe this is my opportunity with 2 free transfers in hand. And then a wild card the other side of it. It's my chance to roll the dice and then, fix it next week, isn't it? I think. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Good luck to everybody else. Cheers, everybody. See you next time.